So I'm just gonna go ahead and I know close that. I know that a lot of streamers do tier lists like this. And honestly, I am not that good of a streamer. I don't even really have anybody watching right now. This is just me rambling. But if anybody sees the VOD, I guess I can, and I can probably clip this at the end too. So anyway, Resident Evil tier list. I'm gonna say, since I started with the remakes, I'm gonna say Resident Evil remake is an A tier, solidly A tier. I'd give Zero a B. I know a lot of people don't like that game, but it just felt like more of the original Resident Evil with some of the later game camp levels from the later games, like 4, 5, and 6. Uh, and like it didn't feel that bad to play. It was annoying to I'm talking myself into a C tier. Um yeah. At any rate, I'm gonna leave it at that. Like B tier for Resident Evil 0 for sure. Let's see here. I want 2 remake. Resident Evil 2 remake. Resident Evil 2 remake is an S tier for sure. Resident Evil 3 remake I'm going to put in A tier because I don't even really need to say why Resident Evil 2 remake is an S tier. Like everybody knows at this point, it's probably one of the best games in the series. And like I said, moving to Resident Evil 3, I played Resident Evil 3 remake immediately after I played Resident Evil 2 remake, which is why I'm putting it so high up here. Like every one of these games ends with a rocket launcher, right? At least in some capacity ends with a rocket launcher. It's supposed to be that moment of catharsis, right? Resident Evil 3 is like if you're on one of those like on rails haunted houses that they occasionally have at theme parks where it's just like a bunch of stuff jumping out at you while you're in the car. Resident Evil 2 is the haunted house, and Resident Evil 3 is like if immediately after you got out of the haunted house, you went straight onto a roller coaster track. Like it was exactly what I needed to balance out my experience after Resident Evil 2, which is why I love it so much. Now, I didn't play the original, so I think if I had, I'd probably be a lot more negative, but the way that it is right now, yeah, Resident Evil 3 for me is a solid A. Like, I loved that experience a lot. Now, Resident Evil 4 remake, putting it on S tier. I'm putting it above Resident Evil 2. That is my favorite game in this series, hands down, no questions asked. I don't even need to, and again, I don't even need to say why. Everybody knows that Resident Evil 4 is great, and everybody knows that the remake is great, then everybody knows why it's great. I don't even need to explain myself. I loved every minute of it. And honestly, when I finished playing it, for a while, I was just playing Mercenaries by myself, not even on stream, just because I enjoyed playing the game and I didn't want to leave it yet. And that's the best compliment that I can give one of these games is that I didn't want to leave at the end. Usually with a single player experience, I'm out the minute that I finish. Like I can't just sit and do new game pluses forever, right? So, yeah, I really love 4. 4 is the best. It's the greatest. So then Resident Evil Revelations, I'm putting in B. I'm putting it above 0, but it's it's a handheld Resident Evil game, right? Horror on a boat. And the story was ridiculous, which is why it's going in the same tier as 0, but it is fun. And it's the same kind of fun as the later Resident Evil titles. So that's why it's going above 0 on this list. Now, I need to find 5, Resident Evil 5. I'm putting in B tier as well. Put that above Revelations. I first played Resident Evil 5 is my first full playthrough of the Resident Evil series. I played it when I was in college, long, long ago, because I am very old. Um, and I had a really good time with it, but I had a good time with it because I was playing with my college buddies. I did not like horror games, and to an extent, I still don't. So this was my introduction to the Resident Evil series in full. When I was a kid, I had played snippets of Resident Evil 2 uh, by mistake because I had wandered into the GameStop while my mom was in the store next to the GameStop when Resident Evil 2 first came out, and the GameStop employees had put the full game into the demo machine in the store. So like I got a hold of the game and without knowing how to play or what any of the controls were or anything in my and I was like I want to say 5 or 6 at the time. Just got eaten alive by zombies in a room that I could not leave and I couldn't fight back because I didn't know how to shoot. And that's part of the reason why I don't like horror games to this day. Like I don't like that feeling of not being able to respond to things that are going on, which is why you will never catch me dead playing Amnesia or Outlast, right? Like I those kind of games just don't seem like they'd be a good time to me. Yep. I downloaded Umbrella Corp for a little while, played like 5 minutes, and then quit. It wasn't the gameplay is fun, but it's not Resident Evil, so I can't really give it a as a matter of fact, I need to add a row blow. Okay. Matter of fact, I need to add a new role. Ugh, yeah. That's it's getting its own tier because it is not a Resident Evil game. They should have put a different skin on it, honestly. But it's cool that they tried to make something like that and that the mechanics were so solid because they were solid mechanics. It's just not this is not the series for it. And then finally, Resident Evil 6, which I will be putting solidly in D. There is only one campaign that I can genuinely say that I enjoyed all the way through. Two of those campaigns I really did not like, and then the Ada campaign is just okay. Just okay. I can't say that I like any of the rest of the content in there, though. Like, Jake and Chris got done dirty by this game, and I feel like I hope that they are not considering remaking Resident Evil 6, but if they do remake Resident Evil 6, this is going to be the hardest thing that they have ever done, right? The Capcom is going to have such a hard time trying to fix the mess that they have made, and I feel bad for them, but it is what it is. I hope that they'll be able to do it. And that for those are all of the Resident Evil games that I have played. I'm looking forward to the Code Veronica remake. I was going to consider trying to stream, trying to play it on my PS5, and because it's on the classics, the PlayStation classics, so you can stream it on PlayStation Network, but I think I'm going to just wait for the remake on that and play it when the remake releases. I think that'll be my first experience for Code Veronica. And I know people are like purists when it comes to the classics, like, hey, you need to play the original. You can't just like sit here and play the remakes and call yourself a fan. And it's like that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play the remakes and I'm going to call myself a fan. So yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all for my rankings on the Resident Evil series, and hopefully, um, I'm going to enjoy Resident Evil 7. I don't know if I actually will because I don't think I'm going to be a fan of these games in first person in the same way that I'm a fan of them in third. But I'll try. I made it through 2, so and I think I made it through 1 and 2, and I think those 2 are probably well, no, people say that 7 is probably one of the scariest games in the series, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm more worried about being disgusted than I am about being scared because the thing I really don't like about horror these days is the insistence on the fact that everything has to be like a gore-filled massacre in order to be scary. I don't like I don't like that because it's just disgusting to me. And it's not like disgusting as in, oh, this is terrible. I'm terrified of something like this happening to me. It's like, oh, this is terrible. I don't want to look at it anymore. And it's not because I'm scared, it's because I might throw up if I keep looking. So I don't know. I'll try. I'm definitely going to try for Resident Evil 7, and then after that it'll be Village. So which I've seen a lot of stuff about Village. Honestly, I know a lot of the set pieces, unfortunately. In a way that I don't know the set pieces for 7 because I didn't watch most of 7. So, but I'll be playing 7 and I'll be playing the base game and I'll be playing Not a Hero for that one, and then I will go from that to Village, and I'll do Village, and then I'll do the Winters expansion for because I know that there's at least one expansion on Village that I definitely need to play. So, any rate,